In every story there's a secret, and in every secret a story. Welcome, my friend. This is Adrian from the channel Echo of the Shadow. Epstein's emails revealed a shocking and unexpected reason behind the Hadid sisters' fame, whose father is Palestinian. Gigi has finally broken her silence, responding to these claims and unveiling the full story, which is truly extraordinary. A Palestinian refugee turned millionaire, who fathered some of the world's most renowned models, eventually lost everything. Behind them was an overbearing and controlling mother, to the extent that each of them developed a complex about fame and subsequently collapsed. Let's return to the beginning of the story to understand all the details. Mohammed Hadid was born on November 6, 1948, in Palestine. He recently recounted his full story, stating that when his mother was pregnant with him, the Hadid family opened their home to Jewish refugees, sheltering and feeding them, treating them as part of the family. Afterward, his mother went to her parents' home in another city to give birth. However, upon her return with her newborn, she was shocked by what she found. The Jewish family had seized their home and evicted them. Mohammed's mother was not even allowed to take a single family photo. It was cold and rainy, and they refused to even give her a blanket from her own home for her baby, who had been born just 9 days prior. The Hadid family was forced to leave the country with nothing. They arrived at a refugee camp in Syria, and after some time, they managed to obtain Jordanian citizenship. Later, Mohammed's father found work at a radio station called Voice of America in Damascus, which was affiliated with the American government. This job eventually helped them reach America. Thus, Mohammed Hadid found himself a teenager living in America. He studied at the University of North Carolina and also at MIT. From then on, he focused solely on accumulating wealth. He stated that because he lived as a refugee, he became obsessed with the idea of living amidst the most luxurious and expensive things. He began buying, repairing, and selling classic cars. He then amassed his fortune and opened a nightclub on a Greek island, using its profits to generate more wealth. During this period, he dedicated himself to developing Ritz-Carlton hotels across America. He always prided himself on having outbid Donald Trump for a plotted land in Aspen for approximately $43 million. Subsequently, he became famous in Los Angeles for the colossal mansions he built in Bel Air and Beverly Hills, which sold for between $50 and $60 million. However, after years of success, one decision cost him everything. On the other side of the world, there was a Dutch girl named Yolanda, who grew up in extreme poverty in a small village. Her father died in a car accident when she was just 7 years old. She said that on the day of his funeral, she decided to be strong and take care of her mother. She immediately started working from a young age. At just 13, she was washing dishes in a Chinese restaurant. She didn't wear makeup, didn't know what Vogue magazine was, and didn't even know what modeling was. But when she turned 16, her friend, who was a hairdresser, asked her to participate in a fashion show as a last-minute replacement for a model. Yolanda agreed, but she had literally never worn heels in her life and didn't know what she was doing. They simply told her, "Just walk behind the girls in front of you." Yolanda immediately blended in. Coincidentally, on the same night, the most powerful model agent in the world at the time was in the audience. She was impressed by Yolanda and immediately signed her. Suddenly, Yolanda found herself working as a model worldwide for the next 15 years. In 1994, when Yolanda turned 30, she decided to move to Los Angeles. In the same year, she met and married Mohammed Hadid. At that time, he had 2 children and was divorced. In the following 5 years, their 3 children were born: Gigi in April 1995, Bella in October 1996, and Anwar in June 1999. Unfortunately, before Anwar turned 2, Mohammed and Yolanda separated. Yolanda revealed that he had cheated on her, but at least she came out with 2 homes: a ranch in Santa Barbara, where she raised the children, and a mansion in Malibu, where she moved when they became teenagers. Additionally, he had to pay her $30,000 monthly for the children, and she also received $3 million in cash. While Yolanda was entirely focused on raising her children, Mohammed was preoccupied with other matters. Immediately after the divorce, he entered into a relationship with a woman named Tari Dog, but the relationship did not last long. The problem was that she discovered she was pregnant after their separation, and Mohammed knew about it but ignored the matter. The girl did not know she was from the Hadid family until she was 19 years old. At that time, she was a university student working as a pizza delivery driver. When the man she believed to be her father passed away, she was deeply saddened and subsequently decided to undergo a DNA test to discover her origins. However, she was shocked when the results revealed she was Palestinian. She jokingly told her mother that her father was not her father, but it was no joke at all. Her mother was forced to tell her the truth. Afterward, she met her sisters, Gigi and Bella, in 2023. They officially announced the matter in 2025. Even after that, she lightly entered the world of fashion. Despite all this drama, Yolanda and Mohammed remained close for the sake of their children, so much so that Mohammed was the one who introduced Yolanda to her second husband. In 2006, David Forster saw a picture of Yolanda at Mohammed's house and asked him to introduce them. David was a Canadian music producer with 16 Grammy Awards, who contributed to the fame of Whitney Houston, Celine Dion, as well as Michael Bublé and many other artists. Afterward, Yolanda and David married in 2011. Mohammed and David even remained friends afterward. Mohammed himself said that David played a significant role as a second father to his children. This is a very strange topic, but what do you think, now that you know the story of their parents? Start with the eldest, Gigi. Gigi Hadid's modeling career began when she was just 2 years old, when Paul Marciano, the founder of Guess and a family friend, featured her in baby Guess campaigns. As she grew older, she appeared in Guess Kids advertisements. However, Yolanda wanted Gigi to have a normal childhood, so she paused her career and had her focus on her studies. During this period, Gigi became a serious athlete. She was very talented in horseback riding, and especially volleyball. But when she turned 17, Yolanda allowed her to return to modeling, and she signed with IMG, one of the largest modeling agencies in the world. Most importantly, all of this happened in front of the cameras, because at that time, Yolanda joined a reality show about wealthy women in Beverly Hills and the drama that unfolded among them. In one episode, we saw Gigi say that she wanted to continue playing volleyball, but Yolanda told her she couldn't, because her body would become muscular, and she would get hungry and eat a lot, which was not suitable for modeling. Control over eating was repeatedly evident. For example, once it was Gigi's birthday, and Yolanda only allowed her to eat a small bite of her cake. After that came the clip that later went viral on TikTok years later. In the episode, we see Gigi as a teenager calling Yolanda saying she feels very dizzy. At that time, she was on a juice cleanse diet for a week, which was originally her mother's idea. Yolanda told her, "Eat 2 almonds and chew them well." Of course, the clip alone is shocking, but when you understand that if she hadn't eaten anything for a week, eating a full meal suddenly could be dangerous, you might understand why she told her that. And people said that a teenage girl should not stop eating for a week, no matter the reason. In addition, Gigi suffered from Hashimoto's, a disease that affects the thyroid gland, so this juice diet was particularly harmful to her. But Gigi loved modeling and was determined to succeed in it. Unfortunately, this meant she had to stay very thin all the time, but the effort was not in vain. When she turned 18, Gigi moved to New York, saying she would love and go to school, but she immediately dropped out afterward. Because her modeling career began to take off, she not only became a successful model, but also became internationally famous. She was almost the first model to gain strong popularity on Instagram, and she became friends with the most famous Hollywood stars, and everyone came to know the name Gigi Hadid. In 2015, she appeared in the music video for Bad Blood. In the same year, Gigi met Zayn Malik. Zayn had just decided to withdraw from One Direction in the middle of a world tour. Immediately afterward, he began his solo singing career and chose Gigi to star in the music video for his first song, which was released in early 2016. The song immediately reached #1. From that moment on, the public knew they were together, even before they confirmed the relationship. They were obsessed with their relationship, but it was a tumultuous one. They broke up and got back together 3 times in 4 years, but then, in early 2020, I got back together seriously, and then we found out why. They discovered that Gigi was pregnant with their first child. In September 2020, Gigi gave birth to their daughter, Kai. However, the relationship did not last long after that. In October 2021, news broke that Zayn Malik had assaulted Yolanda, Gigi's mother. Because of this, Gigi and Zayn separated. Since then, Gigi has focused on raising her daughter and has appeared in several interviews discussing the importance of protecting her daughter's privacy. It is surprising what Zayn Malik stated in a podcast, where he mentions that he never expected to fall in love with Gigi, and that he would not have been an ideal partner for her. These statements sparked a wave of attacks against him, as many considered the roots of the problems in their relationship to have originated from him from the start. However, this does not entirely absolve Yolanda of responsibility, which is clearly evident in the journey of her second daughter, Bella. From her childhood, Bella lived under constant comparison to her elder sister Gigi's beauty, which led her to grow up as a shy and introverted girl. However, the turning point in her life was in 2014, when she signed a contract with the famous modeling agency, IMG, at the age of 17. At that stage, Bella began to gain confidence in her own beauty, realizing that her unique features gave her an edge in the fashion world that might surpass her sisters. Thanks to her friendly personality and high professionalism, she became a favorite among photographers and designers, and her fame began to rise, rivaling Gigi's. Unlike Gigi, Bella found it extremely difficult to adapt to the pressures of the spotlight. While her career was at its peak, she was suffering from a silent internal collapse. Bella became involved with the famous singer Abel the Weech in 2015, but their relationship ended in November 2016 due to their constant busy schedules. Questions arise about the truth of this loss and whether it was linked to his political stances or to entities that initially funded him. Finally, the family's name appeared in the Epstein leaks in 2026, where Epstein hinted in old messages that the Hadid sisters' rapid rise to fame was not merely a coincidence. Gigi strongly denied this in a response she later deleted, asserting the falsity of these claims and that her success was the fruit of hard work and continuous effort. This was the complete story of the Hadid family. What surprised you the most? And do you think their era has ended? Don't forget to interact, and we'll see you in the next clip.